Hi, everyone, and welcome to AI InterConnect podcast, where we go deep with leaders shaping the intersection of AI, compliance, finance, tech, accounting. I'm your host, Lauren, and today I'm joined by Matteo Muia, founder of Muia Consulting. His team handle bookkeeping, payrolls, tax prep, financial advisory, and cloud accounting systems. Matteo, glad to have you here on the show. Very nice. Um, enjoy this already. Let's begin to the start. At the start. Oh, I forgot to mention. No, let's do it right now. What's the story behind Muya Consulting, and what drove you to into accounting and financial services, especially for small businesses, and what drove you to from Italy to Canada?
So, uh, Laurent, good morning. So it's a very it's an enormous pleasure for me to be here today. It's the history behind us is always it's like a theatrical musical. You always have a series of events. They concatenate together, and then at the end you arrive in another country for a lot of reasons. So probably in a nutshell, I can say that the reason why I moved to Canada is because the Italian lost the war in the Second World War, and my grandfather moved here in looking for opportunity after the war, and then my father moved too. And then when my father moved back in Italy, he married my mom, and I born with a Canadian citizenship and double Italian and Canadian. In 2012, my father was here visiting family, and I came here to say hi. And I like it, the country. It was a different country back in 2012. I like it, and I thought it was a good opportunity to change continent.
Fair enough.
When I moved in 2015, I started doing different work, but I hold a diploma in accounting and a degree in accounting from Italy. Even if my background was in IT, I always worked with IT. I opened my own company, my first company that I was 18 years old, wireless service internet provider, a WISP, as it's called. When I moved to Canada, it was easy for me to, especially because English is not my first language, it was easier for me to just work with number because number everywhere, and Canadian accounting rules are very similar to the Italian one, so it was easier for me to get it. And I noticed something. I noticed that wherever you go in the world, small business, they have the same problem. So they lack. I'll try to put the problem in a sentence. Small business lack access to information because information was expensive. Because I was coming from IT, so from internet, I knew that the access of information now will become accessible for everyone. So I started Muia Consulting with the proposition of creating a tools where small business, the tools that small business they can use to have access to information, number one, through us. So we act as a filter. Two, so information give you decision making. So you can take your decision because now you know. So better tax planning, obviously, and better bookkeeping for that matter, because everything starts with bookkeeping. And third, but not last, the possibility of becoming an international company. So you can sell online everywhere because now you have access to an entirety portfolio of information that before was just for multinational company, like reach an individual, enormous corporate. So more or less, that's what it drives me every day.
Okay, I love it already. It's important to know where we're coming from, and if you find something in a business that was underserved, and then you realize that that's what they needed in Canada. But I mean, you were already in this business, an IT and financial advisory. Okay, then let me go back and tell us a little bit about your own career path. What experiences in accounting, IT, or finance shape how you run Muya today?
That's a very great question. Look, my parents, both of them, they own a small retail shop. So in the 90s in Italy was an incredible time, booming of economy, especially after the 94. So I grew up in the store, like working inside, managing people, not managing. I was like 7 years old. You don't manage people 7 years old. But I mean, working together with my mom and my father. And I helped my mom at 10 years old to install the first computer to manage the inventory. It was an IBM, I remember. My father he is retired now, but he was a hairstylist. So not much to do with inventory, but there is the genius behind. You have to, number one, you gotta love what you're doing because you need to have a fresh idea every single moment of the day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you have to do multiple time in a day. So different client, different idea. Love that aspect. I work basically with bookkeeping all my life and finance. Remember, I was young. I was like 8, 9 years old with a stack of cash. Because back then there was only the cash. So I have to do deposit, go to the bank and deliver. I don't know if you remember, but in Europe we used to have or at least in Italy, we used to have something called cambiali, where basically you bring to the bank piece of paper knowing that it will expire that day. So you have to go and pay the deposit, the check. Very few credit card, and all the machine was like the hard machine to copy on a piece of paper. More or less, that's my path. And then obviously a bit of here, a little bit there. You have the bookkeeping, you have the IT. And then when I went to university, I started collaborating with a different organization, and then from there, it just exploded.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, then let's dig in. You have publicly listed bookkeeping companies, payroll, tax, virtual CFO, and consulting. Which of these are your core revenue driver today?
But I would say it's a mix of both, of all three, the major service, bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes. So I tried to work in Canada with the same model of a European accountant. So we don't charge by service. We charge a fixed monthly fee that group everything. More or less all the company that we have that we service, we do the bookkeeping or a significant part of bookkeeping for them. That's the reconciliation, the bank account reconciliation, and the chart of account reconciliation. Then we do the payroll, we do the WSB. That in Ontario, it's like an insurance, like the public insurance for the place. And we do the taxes at the end of the year. It is a bouquet of service that have to go together. You can specialize. You can decide and say, no, I'm just doing taxes, but it doesn't serve the mission. So my mission is a specific mission, and it's to help a small business to grow. And I need to have the control of most of everything to be able to help them, especially because my persona, my customer persona, my average customer is a micro to small business. So everybody under $2 million in revenue or startup. And my goal obviously is to help them to actually become somebody and then associate them with the virtual CFO service. That's the everything later, basically. And that's the goal.
And Okay, then we know you deliver services for startups, small businesses, any real estate firms as well.
We do a lot of real estate firm.
Okay, yeah, okay. And okay, in your field, tech choices matter. Which
Yes.
accounting or bookkeeping platform do you use and recommend?
So
QuickBooks, Zero.
I'm a atheist in terms of technology. I'm not focused on one particular technology. Maybe because again, coming from IT, I know that technology is just something that will change tomorrow morning. I'm more focused on the procedures from my point of view. Meaning, this is what I do with my client. I try to understand where they are in their life, business life, in the moment, and I try to find the best tools in that moment. Sometimes can be QuickBooks Online, sometimes can be Zero, sometimes can be Udo, sometimes can be Toast, whatever. The idea is to have a mix of technology. The best case is when you can actually work with somebody that know what they want and decide I'm gonna have my own because they have the capacity, the money, the budget that they can actually pay somebody to do it. The reason why I'm saying that is because regardless of the technology behind, the ownership of the technology, it's more important than the technology itself from a business point of view. You need to own. This is what us, my generation, we don't really, and the next generation, they don't really understand, because we've been dragged by this idea that you can buy everything you can lease everything. You don't need to own. But for a business, it's a different story. If you keep buying service, you do the subscription, you will not own at the end anything. It's just an expense. And when we talk about technology for business, like an ERP, you need to own the ERP. You need to own the technology. You can't go and stay forever on a license. Tomorrow morning, they can decide to bring your license 10 times higher. You're out of business. You have to change platform. You need to spend an absurd amount of money to actually change platform and procedures. That's why I'll try to stay in the procedures with the client, and then to make a plan where I always tell them, okay, listen, today is this. Tomorrow we need to be here. In 5 years we need to be here, but not here, the same company. We need to be here. If it's a ladder. Know what I mean? So you need to, the first step, maybe it's here, it's close to the same point, but then you need to move away. You can't just go higher and stay in the same position. You actually need to shift your focus. You need to shift where you are in terms of respect where you want to be.
Okay.
I don't know if.
Okay, makes sense. But does it mean that you are only using whatever your clients are using? But do you prefer like proprietary solution
I'm
spreadsheet?
to be honest with you, I grew up in a Linux environment, so I'm very especially as a European, I'm very focused on the open source. So whenever I try, whatever I can, I try to push for non-proprietary solution or community solution. That's why, for example, one of my favorite tools is Udo. Udo is an open ERP from Belgium that it's owned by a non-profit organization that maintain the code for the community. So meaning, and again, as Richard Stallman used to say, free not like free beer, but free like free speech. The reason why you need to go for open source code, it's because you need to have the ability to customize the code for the better use of you for yourself and the community. Because if you help you help the community as well. Now, this kind of argument, they sounds like too philosophical for a small business. But what I try to do is I try to explain to small business, listen, you need to understand that this is politics. Choosing the software, it's politics. And like in every decision that you do, when you take a decision in politics, you're going to have consequences. So a small business owner need to understand that if you want to be in a certain position, you need to take the proper step to go to that position. And that's the
Okay, then, but I guess, I mean, your clients, I mean, already use specific platform maybe when they come to you, and I mean, it's impossible to make them change.
absolutely. There's an enormous amount of cases like this. And this is why, as I said at the beginning, we focus on the procedures. You see, working with the proprietary software, like for example, QuickBooks Online, it's one of the biggest in North America for my work. If they work already with QuickBooks, my goal is not to change their need, to change the software right away. My goal is to implement procedures in place that they replicate the use of QuickBooks and then help the company to grow to a certain level where QuickBooks is not enough. Because this is the point. QuickBooks Online, and that's the easy part of my job. All the proprietary platform, they're there except SAP, the Microsoft Dynamics, and NetSuite. Everything also, it's very small. It does integrated with other platform, does integrated with AI, does integrated with all a bunch of marketplace and environment. But you're not gonna have a single dashboard. You're not gonna have like a single login where you can go and manage. You're gonna have like QuickBooks for the books, Hootsuite for social media, HubSpot for CRM, MailChimp for newsletter. So you're gonna have like 7 or 8 different platforms. And when you talk with manufacturing company, for example, they have a specific need, and the need is inventory management, production management, payroll management, repair maintenance, and everything has to be connected to the book. So you don't go and change the software that the company has it. You just let them grow. You speed up the process because now, by the way, the fact that you have a Ferrari doesn't mean that you know how to drive this. There's an enormous amount of tools out there that they are used at 1% of their capacity. For example, QuickBooks Online is one of them. It's an incredible system. Majority of the people, they use a 1% of the capacity. Excel from Microsoft it's a perfect example. 99.9999 periodic percent of people, including myself, we use probably 1% of Excel. So you don't really change the tools. You change the company. It's you can paraphrase the entire argument using the story of the lobster. I don't know if you remember. Okay. So a lobster, if you know, it has
Big clan.
they have like a shield, no?
Others,
Yeah, it's in Italian we call it carapace. In
yeah,
English, I
the bone.
believe it's called the body. You know.
Yeah, the body.
So that thing is hard and doesn't grow with the lobster. So the lobster, to change the shield, to change the outside body, they need to truck everything from the bottom, get out and growing and recreate a new one. And this is a perfect example of growing. individually speaking and business speaking as well. Because, crack your protection, it's hard. It's taking the step out of the comfort zone. And translate translate in English for business speaker means you can't continue to use the same sentence over and over again. Oh, we always did like this. Yes, that means it's wrong. So you need, as a business owner, to take the decision and get out of the comfort zone, be vulnerable for a little bit until you don't rebuild your shield. So I make this concept my own motto in Muia Consulting. And in my office where you walk in, that is our brand, Muya. And then with our motto, that's change is opportunity. Every single opportunity in life comes with a change.
That's right.
And it's incredibly important. You as a small business owner, you as an entrepreneur, you as a sole proprietorship, you as a teacher. For me, teacher are the super saiyan of the public worker, because most of the teachers, they work for the public. No, every single thing that you do come with the change. Every single opportunity. You need to take. You need to embrace, not to take. You need to embrace the idea that the opportunity will come if you change. And don't realizing that you really need to change is not realizing you're getting old. Either talking the individual speaking, that and business too. We need to embrace, we need to take the idea that change is normal. We need to make the change back as the new normal. Non-change is non-normal, because it's nature, everything change constantly. You grow, your age grow, your beard grow, you're getting older, I'm getting older. Nature is in constant evolution. The universe is in constant expansion. If you think that you can manage a business without moving from your comfort zone, you're failing. You're in the right path for failing. If it's not today, will be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, the day after.
I mean, I completely agree with you. And most of the people know without change, you don't grow. Um, and you need to adapt. Then at that point, do you have or do you use any or do you integrate any automation or AI tool in your workforce or for your clients to reduce manual work or errors?
Absolutely. And I want to connect with what I was saying before. Change is everything. When I opened Muia Consulting, I opened in 2019, and I went straight on the cloud computing because I was coming from IT. So I was on cloud back in 2010 when everything started. So I was one of the first company in Canada to be completely cloud as an accounting firm, completely. But the entire process was cloud in 2019. We're still cloud today. We don't own a server. We don't own a firewall. Everything is cloud. So we access everything on into remote directly to web app. To give an example, in my workflow, I start immediately with tools like Zapier. It's a service online that helps you to connect different type of app together. So CRM, workflow management tools. Spend a lot of money, actually. Respect to my colleague, I spend a lot of money in technology. But because I'm coming from IT, I brought my experience. So we start with a set of tools for automation. We use everything. Like we probably use around 100 app in every month. Just to give you an idea, we have three major different tools for a reading document, OCR, one Canadian, AppDoc, one from UK. It's called, it's from Sage. Don't remember the name now. And then we use Udo. Udo has its native document OCR. We use two different type of, actually, that's actually something new. Right now we're using two different type of AI involved because we went from automation to full AI capacity. We use AI for answer the telephone. So we have an automatic, an AI voice that answer in 27 language on our um, uh, green number, the toll-free number. Basically, what it does is give you a bunch of details what we're doing, what we're not doing, and then it asks you if you need to talk to me or to the secretary, or if you want to book an appointment. So either way, it sends you to the right direction. And now we just add another AI that will answer on first contact leads, asking for what you need, what are your needs, blah, 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 blah. Give you a little bit of an interview, and then it book an appointment with me or with a person in the office. We use ERP from day one, basically.
Okay.
With me, probably it's better we really go to the specific because we use so many apps that I'm getting lost sometimes. I
It's fine.
probably use three type of AI just to check work. We now using. I'm trying a couple of AI platform that are specific for taxes in Canada, but I'm building my own AI in using Gemini for local needs. So
Okay. I
it's
mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Then let's dig into challenges and what friction do you see most often on your side or on your client side? What kind of friction can you?
but in what meaning? Like in what direction?
I mean, it could be I mean, it's a challenge or it's a pain point to it's friction that you often realize that your team is working on every single day, or maybe it's a friction that need to be addressed on your client side.
Look, at the end of the day, either in reality, friction they just part of the process. The real reason why you have the friction is ignorance. The fact that you have problem, that's regular. That's life will come. The problem is you are ignorant in terms that you don't know the solution. So it create a friction in the work because you don't know how to resolve the problem. That's extremely correct with the client. So client, they don't adapt, they don't take technology or suggestion for ignorance on what that change will make. Most of the time is fear, but fear is brought by ignorance, obviously. If you know, you don't fear. It's the ancient concept of the not knowing what is in front of you. In business, if you drive revenue, the decision is easy. It's extremely hard that someone will say no to a good driver of revenue or to something that will make a bit that looking better. Extremely rare. One or two cases maybe. Everything else is just poor ignorance. And I gotta say, the AI and the tools from now to I'm sorry, just I forgot something. Just give me a second. I forgot to put the phone in do not disturb, and it's ringing in my head. There we go. Sorry about that. So I was saying that the problem is ignorance, and AI will help to overcome. Number one, because now information it's not just available, but can be summarized and explained in more simple language. So now it's easier to give the proper information in the proper situation. AI is coming very helpful right now. I can tell you, especially when it comes for us to explain something to the client.
Okay, then let's go into advisory, and you do more than bookkeeping. You provide financial advisories, and you mentioned it at the beginning. You also work with packages on a monthly basis. Then you have a package for advisory versus execution services, maybe on and you package this, either they take this or the whole thing. And as your business grows, how do you plan to scale operation without sacrificing quality?
So that's well done question. The only way that I see to give more high complex service like advisory, it's to get proper procedures and have a different individual that can help to achieve the task. Let me explain better. The advisory role is extremely specific. So the goal of Muia Consulting was to create a network of high specialized individuals that are extremely good on one thing, and then put them together for the reaching of the goal for the company. And I give you a few examples. We have lawyers that work with us. They are specialized in patent, trademark, corporation. We have paralegal, notary. We have designer. We have human resource that they work with us. And in case the client has a need, doesn't need to go out, we consult with them to create the report, and then we charge the client. Client doesn't talk to them. They will talk to them directly, obviously, because they need to talk to the client to be able to actually do the consulting. They're part of Muya Consulting Group, basically. And we call it a Muya Business Partner. We have engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. We have a shred expert. Now, SHRED is a very important tool in Canada. It's scientific research and development. It's a tax credit to help Canadian company to recover investment in scientific research and development. And it can be used by anybody. You just need to be a small business in Canada, identify as CCPC, Canadian Controlled Private Corporation. I will suggest everybody that listen to this podcast to check the tax rate online.
That's very interesting. I
Yeah,
like
no,
it.
it's the highest, and the GSA is the highest tax credit for scientific research,
Okay.
and it's extremely good. It's that good actually that created a paradox. So we have a paradox of the shred in Canada where startup are getting so much money from shred that they're not really push it to go to market. So they never become profitable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. The tax experts. Okay, then I got this. And then
So to summarize, the only way to give a quality advisory is having different expertise. You basically, Muya Consulting, we obviously are the expert in taxation and procedure. We act as a financial officer, basically. But with the idea that we know that, see, this is very important. We understand the concept that everything you do in the company has a reflection in the balance sheet. When you understand that part as an accountant, then you're able to help the client better. So we talk to the engineer because we understand we need to make a bit better. How we do it? Production. What do you need? Oh, I need an engineer. Give you an engineer. Here we go. Talk to him.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. Makes sense. Then I want to ask you now, I mean, your opinion, looking ahead into 2026 and beyond, where do you see Muia Consulting heading?
Muya Consulting is going to open 2026 in a very interesting way. We are finalizing the change of our presentation to our client. We are the same people, but basically we're just changing website a little bit. So we're moving from Muya Consulting to Muya Business Partner, embracing it and making more simple the understanding the fact that we are a network of different solution and professional for our client. We have a three major group inside Muya Business Partner. One is Muya Business Partner Tech. That's the technology, the ERP solution, the integration, all the tech part. The second one is Muya.finance. That's the accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, obviously. And then we have Muya Business Partner Consulting. That's the advisory chart and grant and loan. So all the part that's not specifically, there's no going specifically under finance.
Okay, then it's awesome. Are there any verticals or industry you want to target more, like real estate or tech companies or?
Look, I never understood why my colleague they specialize in a certain area, because to be honest with you, it's money or money. The dollar, I always say that the dollar is the most democratic tools in the world, because dollar is the dollar that has the same value regardless of which hands hold the money. No, we're not focused specifically on any industry, but we do have, obviously, because of the expertise that we work day by day, we do have a couple of niche where we are more helpful than others. Cryptocurrency one is one. Uh, yeah, we work very well, especially because we have a great lawyer that collaborate with us. That is one of the biggest experts of cryptocurrency in Canada. We do have an office in Dubai that collaborate with us for international tax strategy that regard the crypto. Crypto goes with IT. So everything related to service or anything that go around the software, for that matter. So if you are a company that creates software, so where there is the intellectual property on something, then we go very well. Because we go in tandem with a couple of experts. We really have the pleasure to work together. And because of my background, Italian, we work very well with restaurant and food production. We have a we have a few clients that they are very interesting in terms of restaurant and then consequently then we work with the food production. We have a couple of manufacturing company that we follow them, and
Wonderful.
we're very pleased to and honored to work with them.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, that's I love this. This is my first experience, and you'll be a thought leader into this sector of accounting and finance advisory. We haven't had any podcasts related to that. You're also based in Canada. Then, Matteo, this has been very, very insightful. And for listeners who want to reach out, where for more info, where's the best place to find you?
The best way to find us is to our website, www.muyaconsulting.com. You guys can check all the description below. Then we do have our LinkedIn page and our Instagram page as well. Before we leave, I wanna thank you so much, and I wanna add a couple of things. The first one is we are creating a base that will, in terms of platform, that it will be very easy to use in terms of the relationship between us and the client. We are trying to become the point of contact for any European or South America company that want to work with Canada, especially for Europe. Laurent is an enormous details. That's the HST in Canada. That's the equivalent of the VAT in the Europe. So if you are a Amazon seller, you sell to Amazon, you sell to Shopify, and you ship in Canada. Canada is no different than the European Union. You have a specific threshold, and if you pass that threshold, you need to open an HST account, and the HST account is the equivalent of the VAT. We are trying to become a point of contact for all European company or international company that they have a need in Canada. And how we achieve that is through the use of platform and software and automation and AI that make our life easier and the client life easier as well. So to the listener, if they might need, the contact is below.
Yeah, this is very, very, very interesting, and I'm sure our listener would be very happy to hear this, and me too. This is something I learned, and I'm sure we have many things to discuss. It would be nice also to maybe see each other or do another podcast in a year from now and see your evolution.
Absolutely, anytime. And God willing, I will come to Spain or the south of France early so that we can share a glass of wine.
With great pleasure, Matteo. Thank you so much. This has been a great conversation and a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again. And guys,
thank you. Thank you, Matteo. And that's it for today's episode of AI InterConnect. And if you enjoyed it, share it with someone who's building your future, or better yet, someone who should be. And until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep